So how was your day, guys? I mean, so far, again, the same routine, you mean? The same routine, the same thing?
As always.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right. So how are you?
I'm
Confused?
no, not confused, but okay. I'm okay.
That's
What about
amazing.
you?
That's amazing. I am okay too. Yeah, I am okay. Yeah. I mean, we are into a very fast, vibrant society that we are kind of mechanical. That's why I was laughing at Ms. Hande, which is really normal because me too. I mean, we are programmed, unfortunately, in this life that everything should be done very fast, even
Okay.
seconds. Yeah, yeah. Even seconds that are very, very important for us. Me too. You're totally right about it. As long as there are a lot of things to do and waiting for people to come, it takes some a few maybe seconds or more minutes. Anyway, for today, hopefully, for today we are going to have kind of speaking conversation again. Totally. What are you doing, man?
What are you doing?
Amazing,
I'm so
amazing. That was a lovely music. All right, all right. Okay, that's cool. So as I mentioned, we will be discussing today. Of course, I randomly choose. There's no specific reason to choose these topics, but I think you need to be able to speak about any kind of topic. So let me share the questions in the chat box. We are going to talk about what? Yes, we are going to talk about feelings and thoughts. True. So I have to share them again. Hello, man. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Alive. Still alive.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to talk about feelings and thoughts. I reshared it because you have just come. Now, this is very, very important, I think, personally speaking, because whatever we do, first we should think about it. We should consider different angles, different perspectives, different results, consequences of a specific task. So I would definitely say our feelings, our psyche, our psychology is really, really important. It affects directly or indirectly on our how can I say activities, creativity, productivity, and everything. Now we are going to talk about it. Maybe who wants to start first? Who wants to start the first? Hold on a second. Somebody raised his or her hand. I cannot see who the. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Ms. Hande. Yes, go ahead. Yes, please go ahead. I mean, question number one, or before starting question number one, you can easily have a kind of small lecture about feelings and thoughts, and then of course we will be moving to question number one. Yes.
I think crying is form of strength because not weakness, feel weakness or sad. If I try everything and I don't try and think I don't feel it, result is bad or not good.
All
If
right.
I try it, I win or not. If I have challenge different issues, I can improve myself.
I got
And
it.
yes, and not personally weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It is range.
Mm-hmm. Strength, you mean? Okay, okay. I got it.
Yes.
Strength, you wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say. I understand. All right. Thank you very much. Of course, we
You're
are going
welcome.
to just talk more and more. Let's say hello to Ms. Hatice. Are you okay? How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm unbelievably busy today.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah, totally right. This month, I don't know why,
I
but it's
am.
very busy for us too. March is very busy month. I don't understand. I'm surprised. I am in awe actually. Anyway, now the next person maybe can be Mr. Turjan. He can give us some
Of course.
lectures.
Okay. Do I think crying is a form of strength or weakness?
Mm-hmm.
I think we shouldn't call the process crying or mention it as a strength or weakness. It's just emotion.
Mm.
So it's neither strength nor weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It's as natural as laughing
Mm-hmm. True.
or jumping around. Same.
True. Of course, it must be like that. Actually, there's a huge, how can I say, biased thing in the society that men should not cry. Of course, women can cry. That's okay. But I mean, the crying is a kind of weakness which doesn't resonate men very well in the societies generally, because normally in the whole world, the woman is a symbol of delicacy. Like the woman is delicate, the man is how can I say, harsh, let's say tough, harsh. So weakness is opposite of, in opposition to the delicacy. Maybe that's why throughout the history, people have been believing that, men should be always strong, and crying is a kind of weakness. Because I don't know, maybe because ladies cry generally. Yes, very complicated. Crying is a kind of emotional function, reaction, whatever. So as I said, maybe because ladies are delicate and they can easily cry, so crying could be resonated for ladies. That's why it is kind of, I don't want to say banned, but we are biased by that, as men. So men should not cry. But of course, I don't know, maybe one day we have to break this habit, maybe wrong tradition or whatever. Of course, we're going to talk about it. Yeah, true. And the next person can be Mr. Ozan. What do you think?
Okay. I think crying is a normal behavior for everybody. I think it is human nature.
Yeah.
Like loving, like enjoying, like sadness. Every emotional is acceptable for us. I don't remember when I cried last, but sometimes we cry for happiness, not sadness.
That's true.
But especially woman is delicate more than us. Making mistakes is important, I think, because when we make a mistake, we gain a experience.
Yeah.
Especially for me.
True.
And next,
No, next, only the first question.
yeah, only first
Only,
one.
yeah,
That's all.
first. Okay, thank you very much.
That's all.
Thanks. And of course, Mr. Ahmet is fully ready, I think.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Like Tujan, I think the same way. It's just a natural thing. It's I don't think it's strength nor weakness. It's just a natural process, but to society, it's apparently a weakness for men mostly.
Yeah, yeah.
Women too, maybe. Yeah, these are my thoughts.
Okay, okay. Short and concise. Very good. And what about Mr. Anul?
I agree with Ahmet and Tuğcan. And also, I believe that the crying is showing you have emotions and you have feelings.
Yeah.
You are not a robot.
True.
Yeah, because if somebody can cry, these people have emotions for the communication and also the friendship. I believe that.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, interesting point. Interesting point. Yeah. Now we can talk to Ms. Hatice about. Do you have the questions? Please unmute your microphone. I cannot hear you. She's very tired. I can.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry for that.
No problem.
Yes, I can see the questions. Actually, I'm same idea with others. I think it's a natural form for people. And when Ozan said that even if we are happy, we can cry, that's true. And generally, when a man cry because of happiness, that makes me happy, and I don't know, I feel some feelings for him. I cannot explain very well that feeling, but I'm care for him because he has feelings. So this is important. And also Anil said that people have feelings, they are not robots. And when a people has feelings, and even if he cry, or if I see some bubbles in his eyes and shining eyes, so this is important. The people has his own feeling, and I like that. It's not about strength or weakness or something.
Okay, this is really interesting approach. Thank you. And now let's talk to Mr. Nevzat, the final person. You are here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I am agree with the others. I think it's about emotion, but it depends on the person, because some people have lower limit about his or her feeling, or sometimes you can hurt someone with a small word.
Yeah.
But it's about the limits, the person.
Interesting. Very quick correction again. Of course, I told this before, but I will tell it again and again until fully everybody will be totally, how can I say, fixed. When we agree or disagree, there is no am, is, are. Only I agree or I disagree. So I am agree is a common mistake that normally students make, but that is okay. It is very, very important to remember to review. I agree with others. I disagree with others. Very good. Thank you very much. Now let's go back to Ms. Hande, and let's talk about not the second question, but I want to create another question out of it. What is strength? What is weakness? I think before defining any kind of question, the first question, I think we needed to first define the words strength and weakness. What is strength for you? What is weakness for you?
My weakness is if I feel upset when I crying.
So when you're upset, when you feel unhappy,
Yes.
you start to cry.
Yes.
What happens next? So you gain some strength after crying, or it continues?
Sometimes I lost my friends or maybe different things or new different challenge. Sometimes I feel upset and when I'm crying.
I got it. Okay, I got it. But when you cry and finish crying, let's say, does
Yes.
crying help you, or it makes it worse?
It's worse.
It makes it worse?
Yes.
Really? So crying doesn't help you then?
No.
So why you cry?
Because crying is weakness. Me too.
Ah, you highly believe that crying is a weakness.
Yes.
I got it. Okay, possible. What about strength? How do you define strength? What is strength?
Strength.
By the way, if by any chance you have a kind of job interview, definitely they will ask, what are your weaknesses and strength? This is a must question. Okay.
Yes. And maybe happy.
Okay, I understand, but how do you define it? What is strength? What does it mean?
I don't know.
You have no idea about it?
Really,
No,
I don't know. I don't know. Feel strange.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So
I know weakness, but no strange.
Strength. So obviously,
Yeah.
strength is the opposite of, in the opposition of
Yes.
weakness.
Yes, I know, but I don't know my weakness.
I got it. Strength means power, you know?
Yes.
Like that.
Maybe happy. Feel happier.
To feel happy, to feel strong can be really
issues or subjects.
I got it. Okay, think about the next question, which I am going to ask, guys. I would ask, what are your weaknesses and strength? Of course, you talked about weakness, but think about your strength. I will come back to you. Then Mr. Tujan is ready, I think. Today, he doesn't wear any mask. Normal.
Yeah. I'm coughing a little bit because of the mask.
You remember Donald Trump? He was COVID positive. Then the other day, kind of removed the mask. What the hell is going on? I am alive, like that.
And he suggested to drink bleach or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. He's crazy, man. Yeah, really crazy. Anyway, how do you define these two things?
Okay, about strength, I'm gonna be quoting from Rocky Balboa.
Okay, please.
Yeah, in one movie, he said that it's not about how hard you hit; it's about how much you can get.
Okay.
And it's about being able to move forward after those hits. Yeah, and the weakness is, for me, is giving up.
You're amazing. Very good. I like that. Really cool. Big like.
Thanks.
All right. Now let's talk to Mr. Ozan.
Okay. I think strength is sometimes skills, sometimes characteristic sides of people, sometimes doing something like cycling, like in briefly, persons, people do something for the best herself, I think. Weakness is opposite of strength.
Strength of
strength. My strength side of I think using computer with design programs. I think this is.
Which programs do you use, may I ask, for designing? I'm really curious about
packaging program. Yeah, there is a packaging program. Its name is NUE Package Designer.
Okay. You know, when you say design, I think like Illustrator, like Photoshop, like Corel Draw, some programs like that. But I am wrong. Okay.
Yes, these programs are graphical programs.
Yeah, graphic pro, yes.
But our programs based on AutoCAD.
Yes, I know. I know what AutoCAD is, but I cannot use it. Yes. This is a kind of engineering thing. AutoCAD is engineering.
Yeah, I think Anil use AutoCAD.
Yeah, that's why he's smiling. Yes, come on. You're talking about me. Yeah, cool. Amazing, yeah. Cool. Thank you.
That's all.
That's all. And now I think Mr. Ahmed should say something. Did you talk about?
I didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the strength. How can I pronounce it?
Strength.
Strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
if you have hard times pronouncing like th, you can say t.
Yeah.
That is okay. Also.
Okay. I think the strength is the assets that you have to help you go through life. I mean, to survive. And weaknesses are the opposite of that. I mean, the kind of things that you have which takes you down.
Very good. Absolutely. There can be a lot of things, actually, of course. A good point that you mentioned, maybe I can create another question out of it, but I have to, if I do not take notes, I forget. For example, I forgot a common mistake again from Mr. Ozan. You said in briefly. I mean, this is not correct. You have two options. You can say briefly blah blah blah or in brief blah blah blah. Do not mix them together. Very good. So next person is Mr. Anol. Did you talk about the same question?
No, I didn't.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, I want to ask, what is the weakness, for example, the beautiful, more beautiful, or most beautiful? But for weakness, what can we say?
I mean, you mean I'm kind of confused. You mean like beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful?
Most beautiful, yes. But how about the weakness? For example, I have a lot of weakness, but the one of that the most weakness. I don't know.
Maybe biggest weakness.
Yeah, exactly. You need to use an adjective with it. Like big is an adjective for that. Like biggest weakness or smallest.
Biggest weakness.
Yeah, biggest weakness. We don't have
any
word for that situation.
Okay. So that
biggest, greatest, like that.
I see. So I have a lot of weaknesses and also strength. But strength. But my biggest weakness is every time I say to people, okay, I can do it. But unfortunately, if I don't believe it 100%, if I have some bad feelings about this, I don't do it. Also, if I don't take a note, I forget quickly.
True.
these are my weaknesses.
Weaknesses,
Yes, and also my strengths. If I believe that something for or somebody, I do it. Whatever they want to ask or whatever I want to do it.
You mean that if you see the potential in yourself, you can easily do it?
Yes.
I got
yes,
it.
exactly.
I got it. Interesting. Nice points, of course. Thank you. The next person can be Ms. Hatice, as she's very busy wearing mask. I mean, just removing it, then putting it back. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. About my, I think I would like to first talk about my strengths. And when you say that if you are in the job interview, everybody will ask you what is your strength and weakness.
True.
And in that kind of interview, I said that my strength is I'm a very hardworking person.
Yeah.
And I think I have patience, but nowadays I'm not so patient person. I'm getting angry very fast if I compare with the past. And now this is my weakness actually. I don't remember the word in English. Do you remember, guys? I don't know how to say in English. I would like to explain. For example, a person makes me angry one time, again 2 times, makes same things 1, 2, 3 times, and then I can say that okay, I accept. But before it was after 5 times I can say something. But now, even if he will make it the same thing that makes me angry, even if it will make it 1 time, I'm getting angry. So my limit is very low now. I don't know in English name.
I got it.
Now this is my weakness. So that's all. I hope you understand me.
Yes. Yeah, I got it. Of course, it happens because we are human beings, and we are not all the time the same. We are not acting the same. Okay, we change. I mean, there's a huge transition, psychological transition, I would say, because I believe that psychology outweighs the physicality of ourselves, because this hand is just a hand. Of course, sometimes it cannot work as I wanted to, but normally it works as I wanted. But my psychology, I would say, is really important, outweighs the physicality. Without any idea, without any psychology, we can do nothing, I would say. So this is something really important that I wanted to mention. Let me finish that, then Mr. Nevzat is going to, teacher, you are killing me, is going to talk about it. I mean, if we are not in the good mood, okay, to do something, there is only one reason for that, in my opinion. You know, I think everybody has gone through this situation in their lives, maybe every day or maybe every week. Sometimes, I mean, there's a chance, there's an opportunity to do something, but you don't do it. Okay, for example, let's say you are free today. For example, today you are free and you are lying down on your bed. All of a sudden your friend calls you and says that let's meet. All of a sudden, without any plan, without any warning, what happens? Most probably you would say, you know, I am free, but I cannot just meet. Do you know why? I am not sure. I think that is because of psychology. It means that we are not psychologically ready to do something. That's why we reject that offer. In other words, we need to be, I think, at least me, myself, I need to be ready beforehand to be able to do something. I hope you understood what I said. So psychology is really important, and it happens a lot, and it can be affected by anything. Our psychology, our mood can be affected by anything. Maybe you are very happy, all of a sudden it is raining now in Istanbul. True? Can you see the rain? Istanbulians, there is a small rain. No? There is rain here.
No, there's
Which part of Istanbul? Because Istanbul is like a country, man.
I'm in Üsküdar.
Okay. I'm in Bahçeli Evler. So
Sorry.
not a huge difference, but I think it is very tiny, like a small shower. Anyway, a kind of small rain can affect our mood so that we can cancel out everything. You double check it. Cool. So this is what I basically wanted to say. Psychology outweighs, in my opinion. What about Mr. Nevzat about the same very questions? Strength and weakness. What do they mean for you?
Actually, I want to say same thing for both of them. My strength for business life, I mean, is I can be very obsessive about something, some topic. I concentrate deeply about it. I think so much for solve it. But it's also my weakness because I lose my concentration and motivation about other things. You know, I can't concentrate the others. So I can't concentrate control myself about some topics.
I got it. So these are your weaknesses, and the concentration and obsessive.
Yeah, sometimes it can be my strength, but lots of time it's my weakness.
I got it. That is nice.
Yeah,
that is nice actually to have such potential, I would say. Very good. So of course, let's go back to Mr. Tujan, because when you turn off the camera, the order of people changes on Zoom, so it changes. Now let's talk to Mr. Tujan about that. Imagine that you're in a job interview. Somebody says, I mean professionally in a business scale, what is, or let's say, what are your weaknesses and strength? What is your answer? How would you answer? Because this question is a tricky question. It is not a simple normal question. They ask it on purpose. So what is your answer? Or have you ever been asked by this question before?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So what was your answer?
I think I answered like this. I learn so quickly. I can learn so quickly. So
strength.
Yeah, it's a strength.
Okay.
For me, in university times, let's say the teacher is teaching something new. I was being the one who understand so quickly, but for my weakness, I forget easily because I don't study enough about any question, any new subject or topic. So I understand it very quickly, but then I forgot how to do it. So it is both my strength and my weakness at the same time.
Very interesting, yes.
Yeah.
And I am happy that you know it. Some people do not know what their strength and what their weaknesses are. At least knowing it is the first step. Yeah, to be aware of that. Thank you. Now, Mr. Ahmed can answer this question. What happened to you if, the manager asked you such question before?
So I am perfectionist about some things,
Mhm.
and at the same time, I am obsessive about some topics, and this makes me kind of think too much about those things, those tasks that I do, and it can be a strength for me too,
Mhm.
because I make my work clear. I mean,
Mhm.
there should be no failure in that work.
Uh-huh.
But it takes too much time.
Mhm.
So this is weakness for me.
I understand. Yes, interesting. Yeah, cool. Almost the same thing. You're a perfectionist, and perfectionism is a kind of situation that can be positive, can be negative. This is really a wonderful answer, I would say. Yeah. And next person is Ms. Hande. Please go ahead.
My strength is analytic skills, and I love to challenge
You love challenge.
hard subject.
Mm-hmm.
My job is logistic.
Okay, what about weaknesses?
Weaknesses is if I feel upset, I am crying.
Okay, emotional.
Upset.
You can
Yes,
say I am emotional. Yeah, I mean my
Yes.
weakness is that.
And I lost my concentration.
You can easily lose your concentration
Yes.
if you get emotional.
No, not easily, but hard subjects, and I am crying.
I understand.
Crying is a weakness.
I got it. Okay. Thank you. Now, Mr. Nevzat, you're under stress. 1 minute left. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I give my answer
Of
about
course.
it. Yeah.
But if I want you to be specific, imagine that I'm the manager. You want to propagate yourself. Why you are the best person for that job? How would you, propagate yourself? Propagation here means to advertise yourself.
I think I can't give any answer about this. My weakness is this part, because I can't do that. You know, I am doing so much things, but I can't show this to the managers or some persons. Yeah, this is in the reality. Yeah.
All right, so we are going to close this Zoom and come back again. Hello again. So I will share the questions again, but until other students will come, we can continue with you guys. So Mr. Tuğcan spoke, Mr. Nevzat spoke. Now Ms. Hatice can speak about that. You are in a job interview and you are simply trying to, okay, they are trying to join. Yes, you're trying to answer such question. What would you say?
About strength only or both?
Both of them, yes.
Both of them, okay. I can give an example about my previous works. For example, I can say that I actually said that in my job interviews. I was I really cannot remember the words today. I can say that I was responsible for a TÜBİTAK project in my previous job.
Okay.
And yes, position, and also I was responsible in the university as a consultant together with my professor, and I was helping to the students. And as a product development specialist in my previous position. I was responsible for all technical drawings and everything.
Yeah.
And these kind of things makes me more qualified and very well educated about all the things.
Amazing.
And also my other strength is being more curious about something, because for a designer, curiosity is the most important thing, I think.
Amazing.
So because of these reasons, you need to choose me.
Very good. That's lovely. Very good. One simple, basic mistake that people may make. Actually, I made a mistake again. Like helping somebody. There is no to after help. Helping to somebody is not help somebody. I want to help you. I want to help them. Help students, help manager. There is no to over there, which is a very, very common mistake, super common mistake among students. Thank you for your lovely answer. Now let's talk to who is next. Maybe Mr. Anil is ready right now. Yeah.
Actually, I said, but I can repeat again.
Yes.
It's too easy for me because my strength is I can learn easily.
Yeah.
And if I start something, you can see me like working 10 years in that project.
Yeah.
How can I say? I don't know. I can fit easily the project.
You can easily fit in the project.
Yes.
I got it. Amazing. This is really cool. Really cool because you know it and because you have experienced with it. This is cool. Cool. Thank you. Now, maybe Mr. Ozan. I think he didn't talk about this. Did you talk about it?
Weakness and strength.
Strength, yeah.
Strength. My weakness is merciful. Do you merciful yani?
Merciful. You're merciful, kind, merciful, generous.
Yeah, I think sometimes this behavior makes me weakness.
Makes me weak.
Makes me weak. Yeah, makes me weak because I see I think when a manager behave me strong or bad thing, sometimes make me sadness, make me sad,
makes me sad,
and make me sad. I think this is weakness for me.
I got it.
Because I am a little bit emotional.
Yeah, all of us.
Man.
Everybody is emotional. I mean, emotion. We are human beings. We are not robots. We are emotional, but of course, the way that we are showing our emotions is different. Specifically, when we compare two genders, men and women, generally speaking, the way that these two genders are showing their emotions are totally different. Now, if we just only talk about women or men only, again, it changes from individual to individual. Everybody has got emotion. Some people can easily show it. Some people don't show it. Some people pretend it. I mean, it changes, of course. This is totally okay and normal. Thank you for this. Now let's go back to, I think everybody talked about this question. I think. Let's talk with Mr. Tujan about the second question. It says that, do you think making mistakes is important for personal growth? A very lovely question.
Okay, everyone should make mistakes. That's my opinion.
Everybody
Because,
should.
yeah, not only for your personal growth, any job that you are doing or anything that you are dealing with, you should make mistakes to progress in that field.
True. Can you just clarify it a little bit with giving us some maybe true stories or true examples that you have
Okay.
based on your own experience?
I can give an example about coding, programming. So let's say I made a small mistake about forgetting some semicolon or something like that. For later, you can learn that something bigger is just sitting inside of that code and you are not aware of. And making that mistakes make you see the bigger picture, and you prevent much more bigger
Mistakes in the future.
Error. Yeah,
absolutely. So this is what we call it, like experience. This is what experience is. True. I love that. Thank you. Now maybe Mr. Nevzat, if you are available. Are you available?
Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay, so maybe. I will talk to you after this round, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now let's talk to Mr. Ozan.
Okay. Making mistake is important thing, I think, because we make a lot of mistakes in our life, not business life.
All the time we make mistakes.
And I think our experience is total of these mistakes, especially especially when we grow, we don't anything. As my girl is touching a hot thing, this is mistake, but he gain a experience, and so she doesn't touch. She's learning.
True.
Making mistake is important for learning.
Yeah.
That's all.
Totally correct. Totally. I mean, the point is, I don't know, but maybe you can just enlighten me a little bit based on your own experiences. Normally, we just gain experience. Okay, cool. We make mistakes, true. We learn from it, true. We become, experience, true, cool. But I have a challenging question, guys. Have you ever used your experience in your life? Can you just give me an example? Generally, we just gain experience, but we don't use it. Have you ever used? This is a very friendly question. Think about it, but of course you will answer this after this round. Let's everybody talk about that. Then please think about that question also. Now, Ms. Hande can talk about that. Talk about question number 2.
I don't understand your question. Please, again.
The second question that I asked?
Yes.
Just forget about that. Forget about that question for now. Let's finish the second question. Then I will ask it from the beginning. Okay. So focus on question number 2.
Okay.
Can you answer this question? Yeah.
Please again question.
All right. Questions. I shared them in chat. So question number 2. Do you think making mistakes is important for personal growth?
Yes, of course. Sometimes I do made a mistake. For example, The last job I plan short time for import
Yes.
some materials,
Yeah.
but it is very short. Chinese produce and long way and came and import and custom clearance time not same plain and planet and real time not same and I learned through planning and playing.
Very good, very good. So I mean, you learned something really important.
And it was a big project for in a stadium for locks. Door locks. So, and in a stadium was opened, but didn't give locks.
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, so that was a really big mistake. Yeah, very, very big mistake.
Yeah.
Yes. I got it. I got it. Okay. It happens.
And my personality growth.
Yeah, definitely. It helped you to improve, to grow yourself. Very good. Very good.
And I learned punctual time.
You learn what?
Punctual time.
You learn punctuality.
True punctual time.
Punctuality. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, true, true. Of course, you know, mismanagement, measurement can cause such problems in life. So we have to be very precise. Very precise.
Yes.
So that, being a punctual person, not just punctual, I mean, being a precise person is really important. True. Yeah. Thank you. Now let's talk to Mr. Ahmet about this question.
Okay. So for not just personal growth, I mean, for society too. Yeah, it is really important making mistakes. How can I say?
Young generation.
I think that. What's that?
Young generation, you mean? New generation?
No. I think it's okay to make a mistake and learn from it. I mean, like everybody else.
Okay, of course it is okay to make mistakes, but the question says, do you think is it important to, I mean, making mistake is important in gaining some personal experiences or personal growth, or it is not just important?
So it could be okay. It could be like not making mistake and learning something. Like it could be this way too.
Yeah.
It can be this way too. It would be better if it that way. But I think we say that because we do not want to be obsessive about those things. Like after some mistakes happening, we think like, oh, okay, I made a mistake, but I learned from it. And I don't think that, I think that most of the time we don't actually, but yeah.
Yeah, of course, but life has full of surprises. It can, we can face with surprises at any minute. True?
Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, normally unfortunate, because we don't like those kind of surprises. Normally we have to, it is difficult to pay off, really. It is so difficult to compensate. True. Thank you for that. Now maybe Ms. Hatice can talk.
Yes. Of course, it's important for personal growth. I agree with others. But actually, to be honest, I really hate to make mistakes. And I'm also a little bit perfectionist.
I wanted to say that actually. Yes, I want to say that.
Yeah. I am trying to be actually I don't want to be a perfectionist person because I have many problems about this. I really lost many times to check something, check again, check again, check again, and because of I hate making mistakes, it takes a lot of time, and I am trying to improve my skills about this issue because everybody warned me about this. And about personal growth, I need to say the thing that if a person makes a mistake, and if he or she doesn't understand or doesn't gain any experience about this, this is not a mean for me. If anybody will understand what he did, or if he will create another idea because of that mistake, and if he will have another feelings about this, if he will be more care about that issue, that mistake, okay, this is important for personal growth. But if somebody will make the same mistake again, this is stupid. I really hate that, and if I will make this, I hate myself too. And my father also said me, I would like to share this sentence. He always said me that, please let people make mistakes. Please let yourself to make mistakes. I'm trying.
True, of course.
I'm in a different position for this issue, yes.
Yeah, that is totally right. Of course, we need to be okay with making mistakes. But for me, if you ask me, I would say, of course, we are allowed to make mistakes, but it should not be a kind of habit. The point is, yeah, it is possible to make mistakes, which means we should not punish ourselves. Oh my God, why I did this? Okay, possible. But if I keep doing it again and again to become like a habit, that is not okay, I would say. True. And the next person can be Mr. Anol. Did you talk about this?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Making mistakes is a nature of the people. I think that.
True.
Yeah, because our history said to us, the people made mistakes, and we learned that too much things.
Yeah.
The wars, the history, the math, the science, everything. Because of this, I believe that making mistakes can increase your skills, but there is a but. There is a limitation. If you have too much mistakes in that point, that job or that work, that project, this is not a good way. This is wrong personality.
True.
Yeah. And yes.
Exactly. This is what I wanted to say. Actually, you said it in a different way. I said that yes, making mistakes is okay in my opinion, but we should not make it like a habit. It should not be a kind of habitual activity. Oh my God, no problem. I'm a human being. I can make. Okay, yes, but it should not be like habitual. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is against professionalism. Very good. Thank you. And finally, Mr. Nevzat is ready to answer this question.
I agree with the others.
What a surprise. Okay.
If you do mistake, you can improve yourself, but you can have a chance to do mistake for lots of things. Because if you build an airplane, you can't do any mistake.
Nice example.
Making mistake. Because I am a quality engineer, you know.
True. It's a very, very delicate example that you mentioned. True. I mean, some mistakes are cannot be forgiven. I mean, they are not just just a mistake. They are like I mean, I cannot explain. I mean, this is really important to be totally aware of what we are doing. I mean, those numbers, because you know that better. Mathematics never lies. So I think calculation is should be a must, because we believe in mathematics. We believe in numbers and figures. So if everything is measured correctly, I think there isn't any place for mistake. I think that's why. Have you ever seen a computer to make any mistake? Yeah, it can crash. That is different. But normally, when you open the calculator, always it just gives you the correct number. It is impossible for a calculator to make mistakes, because it is fully designed in terms of computer science and different things. So there is no way for a robot to make a mistake, because we believe in numbers. Yeah. So everybody talked about this. Now maybe we can go back to Mr. Tujan, because he's going to sleep. Very long turn. Everybody is talking. That is what it is meant to be. So of course I want you to speak more and more with longer sentences. So because the number of students is a lot, so it takes a lot of time to come to that round. Anyway, Mr. Tujan, I said that talking about mistakes, could you please share not a story, maybe a true story of yourself that you learned a mistake, you learned something from a mistake, and later, maybe tomorrow, other years or other weeks, I don't know, you remember it and you didn't repeat the same mistake again. In other words, you could use your experiences on your advantage.
Yeah.
I hope you
To
understand.
speak about, yeah, I understand, and I'm going to give an example about it.
Please.
So to speak about gaining experience and using that experience afterwards, I can say that I was into analog photography for a time.
Really?
Not nowadays because of the
digital
ascending prices.
No, yeah. Astronomical prices, not ascending.
Yeah, astronomical.
Astronomical.
Yeah, and it is hard to shoot a picture, to take a picture with those machines, because you need to know the aperture and the exposure time, and you learn by mistakes.
True.
And you don't know the picture is good or bad until you get it developed. So
it was a huge
you
surprise.
have to learn. It's a huge surprise. So that's an example about me.
Do you still have a kind of analog camera at the moment?
Yeah, it's
Fuji.
40 plus years old.
What is the brand? May I ask?
Brand Praktika.
So
yeah, it's a German brand. It's very old. Mm-hmm.
Old but gold.
It's my father's machine. Yeah.
Ah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Old but gold, young but bold.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for that. Now let's talk to Mr. Nevzat, as he is eagerly waiting to answer. Microphone, yes.
Actually, I have a really big problem about my internet.
I see.
As I understand right, you ask the example of our mistake and what they give us. Like,
true.
Yes?
No. Actually, I wanted to say that, for example, have you ever learned from a mistake or mistakes in your life for your own advantage? Do you understand the question? For example, let's say 5 years ago you made a mistake. Okay. Let's say 5 years ago. Think about it. Okay, think about it.
Yeah, okay.
For example, guys, 5 years ago, let's say you made a mistake, small or big, I don't care. A mistake, and you learned from that mistake. Okay. Then 5 years later, you got in the same situation that there was a possibility of making the same mistake again, but because you remember that you did it once, you didn't do it for the second time. Which means that, I mean, learning from the mistake, let's say 5 years ago, today is a huge source of, let's say, help. It helps you very much. Have you ever experienced such thing in your life, Mr. Ozan?
Yes, I think 2 months ago, I made a small number mistake in our system.
Numerical.
We produce lots of bugs, and they have a lot of thousands of quantity our customers orders. I made a one number mistake, and we produced wrong dimensions bugs. This is important experience for me. And I now when I produce like disorders, I write numbers more carefully.
Yes, of course. So you don't want to just walk on the same trap that you set on, I mean, 2 months ago you said. True?
2 months ago, yeah.
2 months ago, I got it. Yes, hopefully. I hope you won't make any mistake, like that kind of mistake again, hopefully. But of course, we have to be very careful. True. I got it.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk to Ms. Hande about the same question.
Yes, I spoke about a mistake about a few minutes ago, and I saying the advantage through planning,
yes,
through punctual, and more being careful.
I got
and about it.
So you learned. So you want to say that you learned something from your mistake that you made a couple of months, years ago. You learned, you have the experience, so you try to avoid making the same mistake again. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. Now let's talk to Ms. Hatice about the same very question.
Yeah, I will give an example about my hair straightener. Do you know it?
Yes, I know.
The machine that you can use for your hair.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one day I forgot to plug out that. It was not a big mistake because it's not cause so big thing, but I really afraid to burn all home.
Yeah.
So now
I think those devices should have kind of, I don't know how to call it, like a kind of mechanism to just stop automatically, or I don't know, to just stop the electricity to go in. Most probably.
Maybe it has. I use the same device since high school, so it's really old. It was Philips, and it still works. So I don't prefer to buy another one. I still use the same, but I'm afraid to make it again. So I learned from that mistakes, and now when I plug out, I say it loudly. Okay, I plug out this device now. So I said loudly, then I remember that, for example, after I go out from my home and in the car while driving to the job, sometimes I remember that immediately. Then I remember that what I say. Then I said, okay, I plug out, no problem. when I when I don't say it loudly, I always don't remember it. Did I do that? Did I do that? I always afraid then.
I got it. Yes, this is very common thing that because we are not, I don't want to say concentrated. We are concentrated, but I think it is because of workflow, load of work that we have, or thinking a lot about projects and everything. So because those things that are in our mind are very big, we only focus on them. These small things, again, which are important, can be, we just forget them. That's why it happens for me too. It happens for me too, yeah. But of course, we have to be very cautious about it. Thank you. Maybe Mr. Anul, did you talk about this? No, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah, okay. 7 years ago, I took a job offer from the big company in Denizli. But when I talked to my manager in that time, they say to me, please don't go. We have a lot of project for you, and we can increase your salary. And I said, okay, because that was my first job, and I believed them.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, they didn't do anything to promise me.
Yeah.
And I learned that if you take a job offer from the big company, if they don't work for a big company, you can accept.
This is a life lesson then. This is a life lesson, at least for younger generation or some young newbie people in that specific job. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Ahmed, you want to say something?
I mean,
you said hello.
You said newbie, and I raised my hand.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yes. Of course.
These are perfect example for me. Thank you, Anu.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. These are, I mean, experience is worthless. I mean, you cannot put any worth on it because you cannot maybe buy it with money or time even. You should experience it to gain that experience. What a sentence. Very good. Now, did you talk, Mr. Ahmed? Yeah, do you want to speak a few words about that?
Yeah, of course. I do not have like a big example for this, but I had been working as a lifeguard in US, and in the first day of my job, should I say at the first day?
On the first day.
On the first day of my job, so there was this lady coming up to me, like she was terrified, and she said to me, "My daughter be stuck." I mean, how can I make a sentence out of?
Got is stuck in traffic.
No, be stuck.
Okay. God is stung. Okay.
Got a stuck like bee needle. Like,
I know. Yeah.
By bee.
By bee. Okay. I got it.
Okay, and I was
by bee.
I was allergic, and I am allergic to bees actually. And even if I smell the bee, like I am like being terrified.
Yeah. Traumatized by that.
Yeah. And I was like that, and I was so excited. I was so traumatized by that, and she looked at me like, "Look at your face. Like, do they hire people like you?" And said some things like that. And of course, how can I say? I called my manager and I helped her. But after that time, I learned that even if you are terrified, you do not show it.
Yeah.
Like, and 1 week later, I saw this girl in the park who is actually bleeding like her cut throat, but her throat cut, like nosebleed. I mean,
I got it.
but
now
serious.
I am terrifying. Go ahead.
Yeah, but But seriously, like she was seriously injured, but I was like stone, and I called my manager again. I helped her, and it was smooth, but I had to see that.
It is always easier said than done. But of course, I learned something from an Indian philosopher a couple of weeks ago on YouTube. I forgot his name. Very difficult names they have. He said, maybe I shared that with you also. I don't remember. There's called Cobra test. Did I talk about that before? Cobra test. Please, I mean, do a research on YouTube or on Google. It is really lovely topic to learn. I mean, he wanted to talk about the fear that we have in life or in situation, or specifically when we have some fears against animals like cobra, because cobra is very deadly, of course, animal, and if it bites us, we have 30 minutes as an adult person. We have 30 minutes to just fix the problem. Otherwise, we are going to say goodbye. So the cobra test is like this. We have to be totally calm. We have to calm down, okay? And we have to be totally, how can I mention it? Like, we should not be panicked, understand? And in that case, we can just touch the cobra. Because he says actually, cobras can easily detect, I don't know how, that you're intimidated, like you're frightened. That is why you have to be very quiet and calm so that you can dance with cobra. Of course, what I said is the basic thing. You can do a research and find out what is the story behind it. You can type like cobra test in India. You can just find and learn something really unique. Thank you for that. And I think 1 minute left, but okay, no problem. Mr. Nevzat again. Always it happens to Mr. Nevzat. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this and come back. You speak and finish, then we say goodbye to all of each other, okay? All right.
Okay.
Okay, yes. What about you?
Actually, it was in the parking lot of my previous factory.
Okay.
It was a busy day, and when I get in my car, I turn up the music so loud and trying to go back, and I didn't recognize or notice the car behind me, and I crashed it. Then I found a solution about this problem, because my car have an option to when you go back, it's turned down the music, and I fixed that problem, but it costs so much.
So you want, I can teach you something very good about English here. Is you can say everything comes at a cost. You could feel it, okay? Everything comes at a cost, which means that you have to give something to get something. That thing that you are giving can be time, energy, money, or effort, or anything. In return, you will get or gain something else. So everything comes at a cost. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know about it. So I am happy that you learned. Of course, we are always learning, and there is no end for learning, as we are human beings and everything is evolving. Everything is evolving, everything. So we cannot say, okay, I finished this, no, not possible. Even a simple software on computer, every year there is a newer version, which means that is updated version. So it means that you have to learn those new things, new skills, new things. So this is cool to be aware of that, to be aware of our mistakes, to gain experiences in order to handle the rainy days which can come. Another expression that I say, rainy days, like difficult days. challenging days. For example, as a good example for this could be COVID-19. I mean, the beginning of the outbreak. Do you remember 2 years ago? Everybody was panicked. Oh my God, what is happening? We were intimidated, panicked. So those days were really rainy days. But of course, those rainy days are still continuing, but not as harsh as those days, I would say. Because in Istanbul, Mr. Ahmed knows that, I mean, people can remove their masks outside. Even in the classrooms, people do not wear any mask. I don't know what will happen. But let's see.
Can you continue your sentence? Rainy days?
I continue my sentence. Rainy days.
I thought that you will say an item or something. Okay.
This is a kind, not an idiom. This is a kind of expression.
Okay.
Rainy days.
Okay.
You know, like difficult days, difficult time.
Okay.
Understand? These are decorative language.
Okay.
Course,
before you finish, I would like to ask something actually.
Please.
At the end of the course, will we have any exam? If we will have, what will be about? So I'm taking some notes and but
lovely
so
question.
at the end
lovely question. I really don't have any idea because I have to ask. Why? Because this class is a specific class, not a normal class. I will ask them. Whatever they say, I will, write it back to you on WhatsApp. All right? But of course, I mean, taking notes, you are taking notes for yourself, not just for grades or scores. Definitely. All right.
Okay.
This is it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying positive, trying to be positive, of course, although the life is not really the life is challenging, of course, we know that, but we try to be happy, try at least. So take care of yourselves. Hope to see you soon next week.
You
Take
too.
care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.